Hey Warriors fans, I'm Scott Warris, and this week we are pleased to feature the Northern Athletics Collegiate Conference Men's Track Athlete of the Week, senior Zeke Micheel. Zeke, congratulations on the award. Congratulations on the week that was, and the season, the indoor track season so far has been spectacular for you. Personally, I can't believe this is the first time you've won this award this season, but I editorialize. We'll move on. Let's talk about your performance down in Chicago. A school record in the 5,000 meter of 15 minutes, 5.5 seconds. Also the NACC's top time. Take me back to the weekend that was and the race in Chicago and what went so right for you. Take us into that competition.
Yeah, just getting prepared for it. We knew it was going to be a really good chance to run a quick time. Originally, there were 26 entries in the 5K, and so it was at first, I think it was one heat, but we found out on, I think, Thursday or Friday that they were going to split it in two. So that was just going to clear up the track a lot and make it a lot easier to run a quick time. And then a lot of the other entries were at very, very similar times to me. So there were four other U Chicago runners that were seated at 15:10, and we found out when we got to the race that there was actually going to be a pacer as well in the race. So a U Chicago athlete was pacing the race through about 4:52, 4:53 pace, so right on pace for 15:10, and he stayed in the race for about 3K. So it made it a really nice, smooth, even pace through the first half of the race, and kind of set us up for success in the second half.
I would say you finished second in the race, but you set the record here at WLC. It was a record that your teammate, Peyton Hartman, had all of 1 year, if even that. He had in the NACC championships. So I'm curious. I mean, you're on the same team, but sometimes there's rivalries even among teammates. So did you kind of rub it in on Peyton at all or anything like that? Or how did that go down?
I don't know if I did any rubbing it in. I was feeling good, like I was in good shape, and I feel like we were pretty evenly matched throughout most of last season. So I don't know if he took it as much of a surprise either. But it was a nice moment after the race where I got to shake his hand and.
No, it's good stuff. That tells you about the overall talent and depth of this team. Obviously, you're running, as I alluded to at the top. You're running really well right now. I mean, yes, second over the weekend in the 5,000, but you set the school record. Already this year in this indoor track season, you won a 5,000 at Whitewater. You won a 3,000 down in Kenosha in an event hosted by Parkside. Real basic question. How are you in the groove so well right now? Why are you running so well right now, Zeke?
Well, I think part of it comes from my expectations going into each race. I don't always look to run a fast time every single time I get on the track. A lot of the times I'm just looking to race and put myself in contention for a win. So I think that changes the way times have played out over the course of the season. But also we've been really fortunate to have some pretty good competition. Not a ton better than I am, and not to the point where I am leading the race all the way through. Yeah, we've been really fortunate in that sense to get good competition to push me just right to where I need to be at.
You and I were sitting here back in the fall when you won this award during the cross-country season, where you have been excellent there as well. Between cross-country in the fall and now the indoor track season here as we start the new calendar year, do you give yourself much of a downtime at all, or is it just constant training and transitioning from the one event or the one sport to the next?
Yeah, so a lot of the times we'll take I'll take a couple days off after cross-country season. And,
couple days?
Yeah.
I thought you were going to say a couple of weeks, couple days.
But it is, and then we kind of just really take our time to build back into it. So I was running pretty high mileage throughout most of the cross-country season, and we really brought it back for a lot of winter break. And you really just kind of have to play it by how the body's feeling. So I was dealing with a little bit of a foot injury for a lot of winter break, so I kind of just kept mileage a little lower, but it set me up for a lot of success, just being really fresh and ready to go when indoor started this season.
There are obvious differences between the cross-country sport and the indoor track season, but in terms of the prep, How is the prep different for you? I mean, painting with a real broad brush here for folks who may just not know.
Yeah, I mean, the 8K distance is a whole lot longer than most of the stuff me or a lot of my teammates will run on the track. So we start cross-country season by getting in a lot of long strength workouts.
Okay.
And we still do a similar thing on the track, but not quite as much volume as some of the cross-country workouts. And we are, a lot of the times during cross-country season, we do a lot of workouts on the grass as opposed to on the track, like track season now. So, and then, yeah, just getting in some faster reps just to get used to the shorter distances.
Sure. This may be a really silly question, but I'll ask it anyway. How do you run differently on different surfaces? I mean, you're outside on grass, like you say, during that season, and now you're on the surface of the tracks, the synthetic surfaces. How do you run differently based on the surface styles?
Well, I think a lot of it comes down to making sure for cross-country season on all those unlevel surfaces, just making sure you have your a strong core and strong hips and ankles, just to make sure you're okay to run and you can run like in a stable way on those, an efficient way on those surfaces. And then I guess we don't have to deal with that nearly as much during track season, so it is a little bit easier, but we still have to make sure we keep up with that strengthening just to make sure we are ready for a lot of left turns. So.
A lot of left turns. That's a good way to put it. That's interesting though, because as I was thinking as you were talking there, I mean, I imagine when you're in the track season, a lot of that stuff you can just kind of put out of your mind. I mean, focusing, like you said, on your core, on your hip, handling rocky terrains and things like that. It's something that you can kind of just, you don't have to worry about at all, which probably frees up your mind for other thoughts, during a race.
Yeah. Yeah, it definitely keeps, I've definitely had a lot more success in track season, I think because of just being able to focus on making my stride as efficient as possible on the track is a lot easier. So.
All right, before we let you go, Zeke, and you remember this from the fall when we were here, I hold in my hand, I got 4 cards here for you. I'm going to ask you to pick a card. I will ask you the questions as themed on each card. So, what you got? All right. And you've chosen the always intriguing miscellaneous category. Miscellaneous category here. The first answer that comes to mind. The better odds of happening, you skydiving or you bungee jumping? Sounds like neither may happen anytime soon, but if you had to have one.
I think skydiving. I'd pick skydiving.
What was your first pet and what was its name?
I had a dog named Gus when I was younger. Yeah.
What type of dog?
I think he was a retriever.
Okay.
So.
How many times did it take you to pass your driver's test?
Just one.
Okay. Whew. Would you rather own a condo downtown or a house in the country?
I would probably say a house in the country.
Okay. 10 inches of snow or 10 below?
That is tough. I would say, I'll say 10 below.
Okay. You can still run in 10 below.
Yeah.
You can't run if there's 10 inches. That played it. Okay, and your wild card question is this. We're going to put you in the distance medley relay, okay, the DMR as the aficionados call it. So you're one of 4 in that relay. You get to pick any 3 other people, living or dead, past or present, to run with you. Who joins you in that relay?
That is it's a very tough question. There are some athletes that I really look up to that some like Olympians or past Olympians that would be really cool to run with. So some distance runners that I would I think would be really cool to run with is Oliver Huar from On Athletics Club would be really cool. Jakob Ingebrigtsen would be a cool distance runner to run with. And if I had to pick somebody to run a fast 400 leg, that's tough. I know Wade Van Niekerk is a fast 400.
Okay.
So.
There you go. There's the foursome. Zeke Micheel is the Northern Athletics Collegiate Conference Men's Track Athlete of the Week. Spectacular season and a long season yet to go. Keep it rolling.
Thank you.
Stay healthy and keep winning. And thanks for watching WLCSports.com.